Let's just jump right into this, and first of all we'll start with the parts, which is a wiring harness, a mount, and our actual module. We're going to jump up here and show it installed in the left hand knee pad, the various parts. Now let's take a look at how this device actually works. We're going to have to turn our bike on first, ignition, and then of course your iPhone app will automatically come on. You're going to push the start button on the app, and when you do that, you're going to notice that the display is going to kind of change into a brownish color here as it's configuring. Once it's configured, it's going to turn to a bluish gray color. You'll notice up on the right hand upper corner there, the battery voltage, 12.4 volts. That's a good indicator that the system is up and running. You'll also notice too that on the display there's 4 separate corner information areas, and then of course your main display in the center. Now all 5 of these displays can be actually customized to exactly what your needs may be, and of course customizable with the given functions on each particular app, and they're really different for each particular Piaggio product. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hit this button here that says speed. That'll actually move it through the system, and you're going to get your miles per hour. This is set on USA standards right now, and what it's doing is showing you from key to key what your speed actually is averaged. And then of course flip it over to water temp, and that's going to show you your water temp immediately. Again, there's your 12.4 voltage, and we're going to switch it over to our fuel average. Again, as mentioned, this is from key to key, your miles per gallon fuel average. So when we flip it again, we're going to get our instantaneous fuel mileage. You're going to see that it's fairly high if you're sitting at a stop, let's say, and of course when you jump off, from the line, from the stop position, it's going to go down dramatically from there. Also gives you a G-forces for acceleration. I don't know what that would actually be used for. Now, something that would be handy is it gives you the degree of the roll of the scooter. Otherwise, as you lean the scoot, it's going to register those degrees, and it's going to go up to a maximum of 30 degrees before it gives you a warning that, according to Piaggio standards, not to exceed that. You're going to get a basically a speed warning, a roll speed warning like that. Also on the slip is with your ASR, and if the wheel begins to slip to a dangerous point, again, you're going to get a display that's going to show up that's going to say grip warning. You can't miss that one. Also gives you an echo ride. That's the green thing, let's say, and it's going to give you your most optimum fuel mileage, and this changes constantly with the way you drive. And if you look down at the bottom, you'll see where it says great. Superb. So anyway, power, that's a diagnostic issue. Pretty much the same thing with the thrust. Is used a lot for diagnostic work, and then of course the torque, this is off the back wheel, and something you would probably use, of course, is the RPM indicator, and that would be a nice one to keep up there. Now as we go back to our miles per hour, we're going to leave it setting right there for now, and I'm going to go ahead and point out this lower menu. You're going to see where the speed is, or speedometer. Then next to that is the map position. So we're going to push that little map book there, or folded map. Let me try this again. Think we can get it up here. There we go. And it's going to give you your display of exactly where your scooter is located at the time. You have to understand, though, that this is not a GPS unit per se. It's not going to tell you how to get from one place to the other. But with the exception of where the nearest gas station is, and also where the nearest Vespa dealer would happen to be located. Unfortunately, I'm sitting here trying to video this in a garage, so the GPS or locating portion of this is not working very well. I'll try to get the push the gas station one. You'll see that gas pump there, and we're going to see if we can get any information. And hey, there we go. We've got all kinds of Kangaroo Express gas stations near my home. And anyway, if you have like GoPilot or something like that, a GPS on your iPhone, and if you push one of those, then it will automatically insert that information into your other GPS unit and get you to that location. So it does work. The only problem is having that other GPS running all the time takes a lot of battery power. And now we're going to push the dealer app, and I don't think we're going to get anything on this thing. I'm going to have to, my camera's gone screwy here on me, trying to get this information, but it's not coming up. But it's kind of like the gas stations. It's going to give you the location, and it's also going to give you a telephone number of that particular dealer. Now we're going to go back to the navigation system, and then we're going to check on to the status of the scooter. This is actually pretty cool. This thing is registering everything that you do on the scoot, how it's performing, and what have you. And when you push this, it's going to tell you exactly the condition of your scooter. In this case, it says no anomalies detected. Go out and enjoy your ride. So that's something that would come in quite handy. Another little handy item too, I'm having a problem pushing these buttons. I think I had too much coffee here this morning, but is that your manual for your scooter is actually embedded inside this this app. So you can scroll through your entire owner's manual just by using those arrows on the lower right-hand corner. So that comes in pretty handy, let's say. Now, as far as the app itself goes, if you push that question mark, it's going to give you exactly, what is, I should say a help section. That's the only way I could explain it. Then, of course, you're going to hit the exclamation point, and that's your legal, releases and the usual that I think we're all, familiar with saying. Now, if you hit the edge where the settings, you're going to notice you can switch from USA standard or English standards over to metric. And if I can get this button to work here, sometimes you get a little fussy, then it'll go over to metric, which it just did. You'll also notice down below, as we scroll through it, this touchscreen lock. That means that once the bike starts to move, you cannot use any of these buttons on the PMP. It's totally disabled. We also have a blinker reminder, and what happens there, if you leave your blinker on, your turn signal, the display will start changing actually to a green color. It'll blink on and off, on and off. Unfortunately, it takes about 3 minutes for it to activate. It says 30 seconds in the manual, but that really doesn't happen. It also has find your bike, and when you do that, that just gives you the GPS coordinates of where you turn the key off on the bike. So if you come out of a building or something and looking at a parking lot, uh, you can find your bike. I know I have a couple of friends that that would come in handy with. Now, another thing too is the dialogue or data log. Uh, Now, this I don't have it enabled on this because it is a memory hog, but it does come in handy for the fact that it keeps all of this information stored on your iPhone. And when you get back home or a certain point, then you can download that by plugging the iPhone in directly to your computer with another Piaggio app, and it will make a file and give you all of this information on kind of a timeline. It's actually it's pretty ingenious. Uh, Now the roll limit is defaulted at 30 degrees, and you can change that. It's the same thing with the maximum speed, uh, which is right below this, that roll limit if you would scroll it down here. And as you can see, I changed it to metric, and that's what it's going to read. Now I can't reach up and change it back to uh, American Standard, let's say, without turning the system off and rebooting it. It's just the way that the system works. So what I'm going to do here is let's go back in that very left-hand corner down below and hit that speedo, and now we're back into the normal riding position. So I think what I'm going to do is turn the turn signal on, and we're going to see if we can get this thing to start blinking. And there it goes. It's going to start blinking, and as you turn your turn signal off, which right now I just turned it off, and you're going to see that there is a delay before that thing will actually uh, quit blinking at you. It does give us a really low audible tone, but when the scooter's running, you can't hear it at all. So let's see, and now it's going to stop on us. Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is shut the system down, and the first thing you need to do is turn the key off. And once the scooter stops, you're going to see a display pop up that is recording your parking position on your GPS. And then it's going to give you a kind of a goodbye. It's going to say, take care of your iPhone. And of course, your iPhone display is going to come up, and just make sure you take it out of the cradle, and it should be fine. Let's talk about some of the pros on this PMP device. Of course, this is just my own personal opinion, but I do like the data recorder that's on that. I think that can prove quite beneficial when it goes to the dealer for any kind of diagnostic work. I also like the battery voltage, the water temp, the RPM, and so on, which is pretty much replacements which were eliminated with the GTS ABS facelift. As you can see on this screen here, this scooter is sitting in the shade right now, so it shows up, fairly well. Um, One of the other items is too, which I really like, is the system condition that'll give you the confidence in regarding your ride's health. Um, the disabling of the screen commands is really a plus while the bike is in a ride mode, but I don't like the idea that the rider can override that. I think that just needs to be fixed. As I move the scooter now out into the bright sunlight, you can see that the screen starts to degrade, mainly because the sun reflecting, and you have objects reflecting off the screen. So it makes it very difficult to see this, especially when the iPhone is tilted upwards towards the sun in a normal sitting position on your scooter. Now, one thing that I found particular annoying is the fact that I wear high visibility gear, and it completely washes out the screen. And I'm wearing a high vis shirt right now, and I'm going to kind of step and lean over the seat, and you'll see exactly what I'm referring to here. And that's what happens. It absolutely just washes out your screen, makes the PMP pretty much useless. Of course, going with dark clothing, my opinion is that's completely out of the question. But again, this thing is really susceptible to the sun, not the PMP itself, but your iPhone. Setting it out now into the sun to your back, you can see that it completely washes out the screen. All you're getting here is just a reflection of the condos behind me. But my other dislikes is the fact that this thing is really expensive. You're talking $300 plus another half an hour of dealer's cost to install this thing. You have to have it installed by the dealer if you want your warranty to be useful at all on this thing. We were also, promised or at least advertised that the PMP would have a tire pressure status gauge, which it does not. But Piaggio has promised an update to the present app, and this should be coming really, quite soon in the future. If you've mounted a sunscreen on your scooter and your iPhone is mounted, and you have the sun towards your back, you're going to find the reflection from the sun off the windscreen onto your iPhone is going to actually get your battery on the phone so hot you begin to worry that this thing might explode. So that is another issue. But my biggest concern is safety, of course. You find yourself watching this device constantly. It makes you take your eyes off the road, I mean, constantly, as I referred to. After the first couple of days, I thought, wow, how dangerous is this? I've always been taught when writing, don't be stupid. Well, this thing lulls you into being stupid all the time. For this reason alone, I think it's dangerous. I've left the PMP off the scoot, and now I keep the iPhone in my pocket. And I take a look at it whenever I'm stopped to see what's going on with the scooter. And also, if you have an issue, some sort of a mechanical issue, you can turn on your data link and it'll record onto your telephone, and you can later upload that onto your computer at home and get that timeline and take it to your dealer for any kind of diagnostic work. For my ending comment here, I would say it's a nice to have item, but I sure wouldn't again go out and spend the money for this. There's other items, safety mods and so on, that you can do to your scoot that I think would be more worthwhile. So other than that, hope you enjoyed the explanation. Sorry for the amateur job at videography, but that I am not. So have a great day.
All information and instructions on this video is for informational purposes only. The author makes no representations as to accuracy or validity and will not be liable for errors or omissions. This video is for peer-reviewed blogs, not for general public or commercial applications.